Awakening with Brahma Kumaris.
Welcome to Awakening with Brahma Kumari. For the past series of sessions, we've discussed in depth of who am I and who is God. We've discovered many fascinating truths about ourselves and about God as our loving parent. Today, in this topic, we will discover and discuss the concepts of the idea of home. With us here today at this studio, we have Sister Jayanti, the European Director of the Brahma Kumaris. Sister Jayanti, welcome.
Hello, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Sister Jayanti, it's comforting to know that I am a soul, my Father is with me. But God as my mother and my father, I am His child. I feel I must have a home that I can go to. He is my Father, but where is He? Where is His home that I can go to?
People for thousands of years have been confused about this. On the one hand, everyone points their finger upwards and says that there's somewhere, something beyond, which is where God resides. And yet on the other side, they say that God is all around, everywhere and in everything. And my understanding through Raj Yoga and my experience through Raj Yoga is that just as this physical body has a home and needs a home, in the same way, the soul has a home. And it's the home where the Father resides. And so there's a place beyond this physical dimension, which is a world of light, the supreme abode. And it is in that region that God lives. And yes, when I remember God, then wherever it is I may be, I'm able to connect with God. And even though He's up above in one specific location, I may be in Bombay, you may be in New York, somebody else may be in Sydney, wherever we may be, we're able to connect with that one. It's like...
Sister Jayanti, if I could clarify something. It's very true what you said. Even when we say, oh God, we actually look up. And we do, yes, with our finger point upwards. And yes, possibly that dimension is a dimension that is not here. If that is where God lives, how do I go there? Is it with just my power of thought that I can reach Him? This concept that God resides in His own space, in His own residence, in His own home, makes me feel, yes, I belong to that home. But how is it that I'm able to reach God wherever I am?
When two human beings love each other, then they're able to connect just simply with the power of thought. And you remember somebody, and next thing they telephone you. And you remember somebody, and then they're in your dreams. And so we have a telepathic communication with human beings. And so certainly our thoughts can reach the divine, and the qualities of the divine can reach us wherever it is we may be. I wanted to give you the example of the radio transmitter. So it's in one location, but the transmission is able to be received anywhere on the planet. Wherever somebody has a receiver and it's tuned to the right frequency, they're able to catch the communication, the message that's being sent out. In the same way, wherever it is we may be, if we're aware of the soul, we've tuned our mind through the practice of meditation to connect with the divine, we're able to connect our thoughts with Him, and we're able to receive whatever it is we need from Him. And so with the power of the mind, we're able to journey to our home and connect with our parent there. Yes, there'll come a time in our existence when literally we'll leave these bodies behind and return home. But for the moment, that's not the case. For the moment, it's through the connection of our thoughts. with our love that we're able to experiment and experience the connection with Him.
So this is a non-physical dimension that our home is totally non-physical. So we journey that with our power of thought. Do we have a memory of this home? If that is a place where we come from.
With the power of my mind, I can go beyond the physical dimension because my thoughts don't have any limitation of space and time. The soul doesn't have a limitation of space and time. I can think about New York and Sydney within the same moment, even though they're thousands and thousands of miles away. I can think about yesterday, I can think about tomorrow, so I can travel through time, through my mind, through my thoughts. So this is actually how we can indicate that the soul is non-physical. It's beyond the limits of matter, of time and distance. And so now, with my thoughts, I can journey to my home and experience the connection with God. This is what Raj Yoga meditation is about. And I believe that because we have had an experience of being there, and then we came here on this planet to take our physical costume and play a role on the stage, we all do have a memory of that place of silence, of peace, which is why we thirst for peace so much. Some people would say, well, happiness is by the way. But peace, everybody will say, we must have peace. It's the foundation. And so everyone has a memory of that place of stillness, that place of peace to which we belong.
So this is the quest that we are looking for that peace of mind, for that bit of silence, because we have that sense of belonging, of having been in that home. What does God do in that home?
God up above is able to send us all the rays of light, of love, of wisdom, whatever it is we need. God up above is able to give us that. It's like if there's a flower here in a corner, its fragrance will spread throughout this room.
Beautiful.
So although God has a specific location, God is aware of whatever is happening within the universe, and God is able to send out those transmissions of His qualities. It's like the sun. The sun is in one location, but it's sending out those rays of light and heat, and anyone on the planet can experience it. But if I close the curtains and I keep myself in a shuttered room and I want to stay in the dark, that's my choice. Then the sun is there doing its work, but I'm not able to experience it. And so sometimes when people say, well, what's the proof that God is there? I've not experienced God. When I've shut myself away in the cave of the consciousness of matter, without allowing myself to step out of that consciousness of matter into the sunshine, I won't be able to have that experience. And so stepping out of that means that then I can experience God. So although God is up there, I can feel God's presence here. I can communicate. Distance is not a factor for God and not a factor for the soul. We can go beyond distance within a moment.
So we invite Him with our power of thought. We feel, for example, I need tolerance in handling someone and I don't have that within me. And I remember Him that at this moment I need to be able to tolerate this. That particular power will be invoked within me because I invited Him into that particular relationship at that time, and I feel the impact of it almost immediately.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to take help from God, it's available. I just simply need to have the thought, and that remembrance reaches God, and God knows what it is the child needs. I don't even need to say, I want this, that, or the other. I just need to turn my thoughts towards Him, and He'll provide whatever is necessary. But I would suggest something else. I would suggest that if each day I can spend time, first thing in the morning, before I get involved in my day's activity, just spending time with myself, connecting with my original qualities, connecting with the divine, and filling myself with everything that He is offering, then during the day, I won't get into a state in which I become desperate and I say, help. But I have that with me, and yes, at that moment, inviting Him to be with me is very, very beautiful and helpful, but it won't be a cry of desperation. More, it'll be a child in the company of the parent dealing with whatever it is that needs to be dealt with.
Now that I know I am a soul, and now that I know who God is, I also know His address, where He is. Who needs to remember whom first? I am His child. I've discovered Him. He has found me. So who should remember whom? I'm very busy down here with hundreds of roles and hundreds of things to do.
Well, God remembered me even though I forgot Him.
Yeah.
This is why He's now helping me. How could I have awoken myself? When a child is sleeping deeply, then it's the mother who caresses the head and says, come child, it's time to wake up now. And so the child wakes up with a smile. If the mother were to just make a bang and say, wake up, it wouldn't be so pleasant. But it's as if God prepares us, and at the right moment when we're ready, we awaken. And so yes, it's God who finds us, and we're able then to open our eyes and see ourselves, and then we're able to see Him, and then we're also able to know that that is the home, which brings about a big shift in our attitude. You know, they have two sayings. They have the question, is it that I'm a human being in search of spirit, or is it that I am spirit experiencing a human journey? And I think it's the second, because eternally I am spirit, and I live in that home with my parent, and then I come here to play my part on the earth, taking a physical costume to experience a human journey.
So up there in my home, I am in a spirit form.
I don't have a body.
I don't have a body.
In fact,
I cannot express, I cannot talk, I cannot experience relationships because I don't have a body. Is it?
you're very close to it. In the home, I am in my seed form. Just imagine the soul is just a point of light, just a seed. And in the home, that's all it is, the seed, without having been planted. It's when the seed is planted in the soil that then it's able to germinate and express itself. When you have just the seed without planting it in the soil, everything is there within it, but it's latent, it's inert, it's merged within it. And so I, the soul in the home, have everything within me, but everything is merged within the seed.
So it must be very, very peaceful.
That's why we've remembered it. The land of silence, the land of peace, the land of nirvana.
These are the different
sound.
names we call that dimension.
That's right. These are the different names that we've remembered that home. Mukti, the place of liberation, the place where the soul is completely free from everything. Just in that state of pure silence, not even a vibration, just absolute silence and stillness, a place of purity.